everyone, I'm glad that you're here. This is AA, your tropical center from Rizal. Let's go as we discover and unleash my fully packed tropical journey in the Philippines.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah,
to those who are interested in this channel, please do subscribe and also like this video. You can share it to your friends and family who might be interested in traveling and gardening also. So for today's episode, guys, I'll be featuring one of the favorite Alocasia in my collection. So I know some of you guys are watching my video all throughout, especially if it's all about plants. So you really have an idea what plant I am going to feature for today. So kamukha siya ng Alocasia mellow. So Alocasia mellow is considered as jewel Alocasia of all Alocasia genus. Alright, so eto siya. So this is one of my favorite Alocasia species. So a very velvety yung kanyang leaf. Alright, so I hope you can view it kasi, and unfortunately guys, and apologies also for this first video, because you know what, this is a take 2 of my video. So the first one that I've created it was really messed up because of the audio, and you really can't understand what I've discussed there, so I need to retake it. So forgive me for this video content that I have created for this vlog. Apologies. So anyway, so let me just discuss a short background for this Alocasia black velvet. So commonly called as black velvet, but the scientific name for this plant is Alocasia reginula. So that's Alocasia reginula. So okay, this plant really struck me that much the moment I first saw this one. So it's actually bare naked when I did this Alocasia black velvet in Ricardo's restaurant in Tanay, Rizal. So what happened was, so when we dine in there, I found this. I've noticed it, so it is really striking. I know guys, you agree on that. It's very striking because of its velvety structure of the plant, and it's very thick. Actually, nakita ko was a very miniature one, so it's a baby pa. And this one is, I guess, 2 to 3 months old na to. So there, flashback, fast forward, I mean. So after that, I always look for this one, for this plant in the market, so Facebook market, and prices are really like pricey. Unlike to Mindanao kasi, in Mindanao this is a household plant. So I've heard from a friend na every household owns this plant. How lucky they are. But here in Luzon, I know you agree, this is pricey. Actually, I just checked Lazada for the lushy type of black velvet. So, are you guys seeing the plant? So, ayan. I hope you can view it. Kasi hindi naman face talaga yung binablog ko dito. It's the plant. So, it has a total 4 leaves as of now. And this old leaf is about to say goodbye now. Kasi nag-yellow na yung color niya. And this is one of the original leaf when I purchased this. Alright, so ayun nga, ako makatulog, then I decided to purchase this item. This worth actually 380. So 380 plus I believe that's less than 200 for the shipping fee. I purchased this around last week of March this year. The Alocasia Black Velvet. Alright. So I know you guys are interested for the plant care tips of Alocasia reginula. Okay. Usually, diba, I'm discussing the plant care tips in 4 subcategories. So 4 subcategories. So the first one is the soil medium or the potting medium. So that's the most important one, by the way. So for the soil medium, again, I wanna put this one as a disclaimer statement. Okay, so disclaimer because I'm not a plant expert, neither nor a botanist. So for the soil medium or the potting mixture, so it's 60% of loam soil or garden soil. You can purchase from the garden shops nearby at your wherever you are, or you can use the garden soil which is available if you are in the province, because that is a healthy one. That is an alternative pick. And I'm using 20% of vermicast. So vermicast promotes nutrients needed for the plants, needed by the plants during the growing season. So that's really important. So, and I'm using 10% of perlite or pumice. That composition promotes the drainage system ng ating halaman. And then for the third one, I hope the audio is clear this time because I don't want to repeat this video again. So okay, going back for the pumice or the perlite, so it promotes drainage system of the plant. And then the fourth one, okay, the fourth one is you can add, so that's 60, 80. So the fourth one and the last composition is actually rice hull. So rice hull absorbs excess water. So that's the importance of it. But please do not overuse rice hull because alocasias do not like rice hull kasi mainit siya for plants. And for alocasia, they really love a compact type of soil but drainable. Okay, so that's the important one. So that is just based from my experience as a plant enthusiast. So you may have a different soil medium, but this one works for me after I repotted it. Because the original look of this plant, so I'll just share it with a photo together with the video. So after I purchased it, so and after I repotted it, so I changed the soil medium, and this is the result. So I'm happy and contented with the result as well. Okay, so I have discussed already the soil composition or the potting mix. And just to add up, so I have used a bigger pot. The reason behind that is I use a bigger pot so that it will easily grow and for it to be ready for propagation. Because I want to propagate this Alocasia Black Velvet. So, kasi napaka-striking niya. Yeah, again, I'm so in love with this plant because of its green hue and the silver lining. You would have thought na this is underrated in Mindanao, yet in Luzon, this is strikingly pricey. Alright, so for the watering requirements, so let me discuss the watering requirements. For the watering requirements, so I don't have any specific schedule when to water it. So since I consider myself as an experienced plant enthusiast, so the moment I take a look on the plant, if it needs water, then I need to water it. And then if not, so hinahayaan ko muna siya na mag-try out. About 1 to 2 inches ng ating kamay. So, kasi if ever, you're just a newbie, I mean you're a newbie for planting, so what I advise is the finger test. Okay, I'll discuss the finger test method. So using your finger, kindly pinch it to the soil. So, pinch mo lang sa soil. So, but please be very careful, not on the root system, kasi madadamage kasi yung root system ng plant if ever tamaan yung ugat, diba? And of course, we don't like that to happen. So after I pinch it, so what can you see? What can you see there? A lot of soil. A lot of soil yung sumama sa aking finger. And that means it is not the best time for me to water my baby. So it's not the best time. So, but say for example, konti lang yung sumama sa aking finger, then meaning to say it's about time for you to water it. And mind you guys, it may not look aesthetically, kasi diba you can see there a white spots, there, white spots. The reason behind that is I usually water this plant with hugas bigas. So because it's nutritious now for the plant, so would have thought, diba? So I'm using it. So it's just a tip, you can use your hugas bigas as your watering medium. Or here's a trick also, guys. You can water your plant using Ajinomoto MSG. So maybe I discuss it on a separate vlog on how to perform the Ajinomoto help so that you can have a lushy plant. So that's a trick, a tip. And do not try it unless you are a pro in doing it, kasi that can cause RIP to your plant, and no one wants to happen that. Alright, so for watering, I've discussed it. So I have no particular schedule for watering of my alocasia. So finger test, just observe if the plants need it or not. And okay, let's proceed with the third one, the light requirement. For my plants, for this alocasia, this is situated near my window. So I have plants there, approximately 5 plants near my window. So they are the luckiest ones, because you know what, guys, the most acquainted and favorable sunlight that they need is around from 7 a.m. up until 10 a.m. and this plant receives it. Siguro that's the reason why she's having this look so very lushy, very lively, kasi nagiging pale siya if ever it is not properly exposed to sunlight. So for this plant, it doesn't need to be exposed to direct sunlight. You can scorch the plant if ever you will be exposing it, especially during high noon. So you may do it, so you can expose the plant all day long, considering that you have a filtered nets. Yeah, you have to install it so that it will not affect the growth of the plant, because it can cause sunburn ng ating leaves. So one thing that you can notice if the plant has a sunburn is nag-yellow na. So somewhat yellow yung mga leaves. But not this one ha, kasi this one is about to end its life kasi old na siya. What I've noticed with this plant is when it produces new leaves, I'm actually very happy kasi a new leaf is about to sprout. Ayun, sprout na siya. Yun na. In few days, I believe it will be, yeah, it will show na already. So going back to the light requirements, so they love bright indirect sun. So please do not overexpose them to sunlight, especially if it's scorching leaf. Yeah, high noon, kasi they don't like it. If ever you want to take care of your Alocasia reginula indoor, you really have to invest in grow lights. That's neat kasi if you don't have grow lights, then your plant will be unhealthy. Kasi parang alternative siya if you are not exposing it to your to the sunlight. Because everyone needs sunlight, even people, even plants. So right, that's for the light requirement. So let me tackle the fourth one, the fertilizer. So as I discussed a while ago, for the potting medium or the soil mixture that I'm using, so I've mentioned 20% of vermicast. So vermicast is actually a fertilizer. And so say for example, you forgot to add it in your soil medium, you can use first is dried leaves. You can use that. I've read that dried acacia leaves is a better alternative. It's a good alternative. But if it's not available to you, you may use urea. So you can purchase it from poultry supply shops. And actually what I'm using is the Osmocote. Yung Osmocote kasi, for me well, for me, it works fine for me. But it's a bit pricey because one sachet can only be used to 6 pots. So that's the suggested as per ate in garden shop. So usually I'm following whatever they advise me when it comes to fertilizer. So the best time for you to fertilize it is after watering the plant. Okay, so not on the day, I mean the moment that you will mix it to the watering medium. Okay, so please do not direct it to the root system kasi mamamatay talaga yung plants if that's gonna happen. Right, so Osmocote. So I'm talking about Osmocote because I'm not using urea. Right, so that's for the fertilizer requirements. And also for the, okay, let me back up first with the vermicast. For the potting medium or the soil mixture. You can use actually animals manure. So that's an alternative if it's readily available for you. Horse manure, cow's manure, chicken manure, as long as it's not yung feed mo with not the organic one because it isn't good for the plant. So by the way, alright, so let me summarize it for you guys. For the soil mediums, I'm using 60% lawn soil or garden soil, 20% vermicast or animals manure, and then we have 10% of pumice or perlite, and then the remaining 10% is rice hull. You can use charcoal also if you want. So for the sunlight requirements, it needs bright to indirect sunlight. Usually exposure from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the best one for this amazing alocasias. And for the watering needs or watering requirements, so just do the finger test. They don't want to be overwatered. That can cause root rotting of the plant. So please be mindful in watering it. So finger test will do. And then the last but not the least, the fertilizer requirements. So I'm using Osmocote. You can use urea or the organic type of fertilizer. So that's it, guys. Maybe on the next upcoming video for this one, I hope this is readily available now for propagation, and I'll be sharing it to you guys for the propagation and for you to discover also, or for you to see it bare naked for the soil medium that I'll be using. So there's no specific science or factor out for the soil composition part. Yes, you can just simply mix it. You can just adjust whatever the percentage that you want. So I hope this video helps you in growing your babies, especially black velvet alocasia. And for any comments and suggestions, please drop it down to my comment box. Alright, you can do it. Feel free, and I'll be happy to answer such inquiries, and I'll be happy to hear your comment or suggestions. Anyway, since I'm done discussing it, the plant care test for black velvet alocasia, so let's do the shout out. So shout out po kay Makoy Nacario from Iriga City, Camarines Sur, and also for Mylene Nacario, which is who is residing in Sorsogon City now. I mean Sorsogon. I'm not sure where exactly she is in Sorsogon. And thank you also, Rachel, for creating my introductory part of this vlog. So I really appreciate, guys, for those who have finished watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Namaste everyone.